Hello and welcome to the SpeedHire Conclave. I am your host, Sukriti Adavanshi, and I heartily welcome our eminent guests, speakers, and our wonderful audience this afternoon. The technology arena in India has witnessed the biggest shift after the hit by the pandemic in 2020. Although technological adoption was happening at its own pace, COVID-19 acted as a push button. According to our SpeedHire reports, approximately 52% of Indian tech recruiters have switched to the online assessment tools instead of manual hiring processes. This has not just impacted the fundamentals of conventional recruitment, but also has changed the strategies and implementations across verticals. Ladies and gentlemen, we've gathered virtually to talk about the changing landscape of technical assessments in India with some of the renowned HR and tech leaders in the industry. And as we move forward, this conclave will unfold some exciting elements for everyone. Before we begin, here's an announcement for everyone. For participation in each segment, we have set certain scores for you. The more you actively participate, the better the chances of ascending the leaderboard are, and you also get a chance to win prizes. And there are Amazon vouchers worth rupees 5,000, and we will allocate them to the top 5 engagements in the leaderboard as you score your points. All you need to do is see the agenda and you score 5. You visit the auditorium, you score 5. Visit the exhibition hall, you earn a score of 10. Visiting the chat booth, if you chat and talk to the booth staff, you earn 20. If you download the brochure, you earn 20 scores. If you chat in the networking lounge, you get 40. If you're filling in the inquiry form, there's a point of 30. Participation in the trivia quiz, which is going to be very interesting, has a score of 50. And last but not the least, there is a create an assessment contest as well, which will actually earn you the highest score of 100. So please ensure that you are actively participating in all the segments. Also, I would like to inform everyone, especially the audience here, that there are 15 free demo units for everyone, and you can claim them. If you consume your demo units within the 7 days, you will be eligible for some amazing Amazon vouchers here as well. So let's get going, audience. In case if you have any questions or you face any difficulties during the contest, please drop in your queries in the chat window, and we will ensure that those queries are sorted, throughout the conclave. Once again, thank you so much for joining, everyone. Let's get going. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to move forward with the very first segment here. And to give a perfect start to this conclave, I have a bunch of cognitive leaders with me from the HR and tech fraternity to discuss how is technology minimizing the turnaround time of hiring for the companies. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Charles Godwin, HR leader from Zoho, Kalpak Huddar, head of human resource, Sitel Group India, Satish Rajarathnam, senior vice president, HR and head strategic sourcing Mphasis, James Jobs, senior vice president, talent acquisition at GS, Anil Kumar Singh, vice president, head of talent acquisition India, Capgemini, and Radhika Chennakeshavula, director, IT Micron Technology. everybody knows that. So here we will be, very soon starting. All right, I have my speakers here with me right now. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the conclave. Thank you so much for joining, Charles, Kalpak, James, Anil, Radhika. I'm so happy to see everyone here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. So I think we should go ahead. Thank you for being here. First of all, I would request, each one of you to give us a brief, introduction about yourselves and the opening remark for the session so that we can quickly start. We'll begin with Charles. Charles, let's go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So nice to be here among the eminent leaders. Myself, Charles, I'm based out of Chennai, working for a product-based company called Zoho. Made in India, made for the world. And last 2 years has been really an interesting experience indeed. Definitely tough times, but still a lot of learning, especially during this remote season, remote hiring and so on. And looking forward to interact with everyone and to listen from the other leaders as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. Kalpak?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kalpak, Huddar. I head HR for an organization called Sitel. Sitel is probably world's third largest business process management services company. We're based out of over 45 plus countries. I support India, Australia, and New Zealand, and very excited to, share thoughts and hear and listen to other participants and co-panelists. So really excited to see all of you.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Kalpak. James?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everybody, and happy to be here. My name is James. I head the talent acquisition for Hinduja Global Solutions. Across the globe, we are around 40,000 people, primarily into the healthcare BPO processes, as well as healthcare technology and digital business that we are in. So nice to be here once again. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Anil?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Anil Singh. I head talent acquisition for Capgemini in India. Been with Capgemini for over 19 years. It's been a journey from 340 employees when I joined to more than 160,000 employees as we speak. And we are growing every day. I'm happy to be part of this event, and share some thoughts and also learn from, the panelists who are part of this program. Thank you so much. Look forward to the session.
Thank you, Anil. Radhika?
Thank you, Shukriti, for having me here. Again, definitely a diverse set of panels, so it's interesting, and I'm looking forward to learn myself while I share my experience here. I'm Radhika. I lead India IT for Micron. Micron is a young startup in India in a 4 decades of Micron global company. Definitely with pandemic, our demand for chip and semicon and memory going pretty crazy up. We are running 300 miles per hour as a business. And we as an IT, we need to scale up ourselves to run or to lead the game here. And with that, talent becomes extremely critical. And then we being again new in the industry in India, we started small with 150, and then we are about 2,500 to heading towards 5,000. Definitely, we are exploring and experimenting a lot of ways to speed up and then drive a good talent assessment here, hoping that we could add some value here. Thank you, Shukriti.
Thank you so much, Radhika. All right, so without much ado, I will quickly get on with the question. And I'm really, really excited to know that, what are the formats of, or maybe the strategies that you've put in place for the online evaluations, because I'm sure all the organizations across verticals are hiring through, while we are trying to work remotely. So, individually, I want to know from all of you that what has been the strategy and what is the kind of format that you've looked at the past couple of years in order to hire the right tech talent in your organization. So Anil, we'll begin with you.
Sure. So, I would put it into two buckets. One is the fresher hiring. And for fresher hiring, of course, we use assessments. We use a pseudocode assessment. We use English communication. We use cognitive assessments before we actually come to, the candidates who are shortlisted. And if I talk about on the experienced hire side, then, of course, we use a AI-based chatbot, which will engage with the candidate, do the screening, along with some preliminary screenings on the technology side. Then we use technology-based assessment as our level 1 interview, and people and candidates who go through this process then reach our technical interview panel. So, for us to bring in speed, scale, agility, I think talent assessment is the most important aspect.
Thank you, Anil. Charles?
Yeah. So, yes, we have been having a very, very critical situation. I mean, in the last 18 months, but still, yes, we have our regular assessment in place through technology, and which takes care of the basic stuffs like basic skill base, their proficiency level, and so on. Further, we give more importance to the casual conversations with our leadership team. Could be a lead, could be leaders in the team having a discussion with a minimum of 3 to 4 and one-on-one, and figure out how each candidate can fit into our organization. That's the key, because skill anytime we are good to teach them, because Zoho focus on the young folks who can join the team at the age of 17, at the age of 20, and we train them. And so we focus on the basic stuffs in terms of problem solving or logical thinking or analytical and so on, and we look at people who have thirst for learning. And with 4 different people, it is easy for us to debate within among ourselves to get the best out of best.
Thank you, Charles. Kalpak? Kalpak, I think you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was talking about, we are among very few companies in India who went home when the pandemic started sometime in April, and we went 100% home. Every operator in India that supports Sitel started working from home, and so far till now we have been working from home. And the biggest challenge for us is, I look at the whole talent acquisition in 3 phases, right? How you acquire or source them, how you assess them, how you deliver them. And a majority of this piece was still being done in an office atmosphere. And how do we quickly shift it in a digital platform was a challenge. And not only just shifting it on digital platform, but how do you ensure the effectiveness, efficiency, and credibility of those assessments? So I think last 18 months, every organization has grappled with that change and settle in probably to an extent. I think focus for us now would be that, how do we ensure that effectiveness and efficiency that this whole change has brought in, how do we continue to have it and leverage it for better results for our assessments going forward for our people? I think that would be key for all of us.
Right. Thank you, Kalpak, for that. I'll move to James now.
Yeah. So, I agree with both what Anil and Kalpak mentioned about, the way that they are strategized as far as the recruitment process is concerned. Just to add to that, recruitment, according to me, has become very strategic, and your business impact is absolutely decided by how do we recruit, how do we retain the talent. Your business profitability also comes in with the way that you are able to strategize as far as the entire recruitment is concerned. So once, if you want to, if for example, if you look at your developers that you need to hire, and if you don't have a developer, it impacts definitely the delivery that you are able to give to your clients. You don't have an HR profile, it impacts the morale of the team that is working out of there. So each and every recruitment in time, the numbers that you recruit becomes very, very important, and hence it has become very strategic. At HGS, we have ensured that, how do we look at automation as far as recruitment is concerned, use artificial intelligence, as well as work with a lot of analytics to ensure that we take the right decisions that needs to be done. If you look at recruitment, it's a repeated process, right? And it creates a lot of data, and the data that gets generated out of those can be used for various decisions that you can make. As well as if you're not doing a certain metric good, then how do you work over improving those metrics with all those analytics that you have? So that's what we, went across constantly, ensuring that at HGS we look at how do we improvise the entire. And today, as we speak, in North America, we launched a bot known as Sophie. And what Sophie does is right from your application to your interviewing is completely handled by Sophie itself. We have a set of pre-screening questions that we ask the candidate who are applying to us. And at any stage, if he doesn't qualify for that particular process, then he gets eliminated. Then we have a set of assessments that are there which evaluate all the required skills as well as behavioral competencies that we require as far as the processes are concerned. And if he doesn't qualify for that, he or she gets eliminated by the bot itself. And then the bot ensures that all the candidates who get selected get into a Zoom room and are available as far as their interviews are concerned. So end of the day, we have tried to automate, use analytics to take decisions as far as sourcing is concerned and the selection of the candidates are concerned. Over and beyond this, what we are looking at the next step is to use the artificial intelligence, look at which are the type of profiles that can be successful as far as your job fit is concerned, and try to look at how you are able to get those candidates as well. So this is how we have been, working out as far as our strategy post-pandemic is concerned, and it is giving us good results as of now. Thank you.
Thank you, Reams, for that, Radhika.
Sure, thanks, Shukriti. Shukriti, definitely, I think most of us are heading towards utilizing technology into the assessment process, right? Now, again, I end up wearing two hats because we also build those platforms, or we provide those platforms from the IT leadership point of view. And again, I am a consumer in terms of using those platforms when I'm hiring for my talent. And again, I think there is no one size fit all. I think Anil did indicate that they broadly categorize into new college grads versus lateral. But again, within the lateral as well, I think the way we see it, Micron is, and I think we doubled up the technology usage even during the pandemic because of the nature of non-touch environment, right? So the more now you use technology, depend on technology, better it is. So we start with the job description writing itself, right? And then we are now being a lot more conscious, making sure that the JD that we are writing is not having any biases, as making sure that it is a gender neutral, it is taking care of all of those diverse dimensions. So we use one tool for resume writing, making sure that it is free of biases, right? And that's a separate tool. And then after that, again, coming into the assessment system, personally, I have done a research in one of my masters on ATS, right? Applicant tracking systems. Right, back then, ATS were good enough, right, in terms of screening your JD versus the list of profiles that are coming. But I think now with AI coming in, ATSs are proving to be not sufficient enough, right? So this is where now IDEs are coming, right? These IDEs is a term typically was part of development as part of programming earlier. Now it's coming prevalent in HR and talent acquisition, right? So these IDEs are becoming smarter enough. These are going over and above the typical ATS systems, and then providing a smart and intelligent fitment for these profiles, right? And we use another tool for that, right? Giving multi-folded selection or in a screening of those profiles and giving appropriate fit. So that way we are not missing out the right talent. At the same time, we are not going through thousands of profiles and hundreds of profiles, right? And then again, we use a different tool when it comes to assessment level. This is one, again, when it comes to college grads, as rightly Anil said, we use like some bit of tests, etc. But when it comes to lateral, we don't do that, obviously. And these tools are smart enough to use facial recognition. They can tell us some intelligence about, okay, how energetic this person is. And it starts to give some intelligence around that. So we kind of fit the tool appropriately, right? And again, all of this, again, when it comes to interview feedback, screening, etc., in spite of having these 2-3 tools intervention at different places, Again, one of my leaders recently came and said, hey, I don't see a good enough tool for capturing my interview feedback when I'm trying to go through the process. This seemed to be a little too manual. And then we ended up building a small in-house tool for capturing the feedback, right? So it's, again, on a need basis, at a phase level, at a step level, I think fitting the appropriate tool, if the existing IDE is not good enough, is our approach. And again, I'm not saying we are the best. We are, again, continue to evolve there.
Thank you, Radhika. I will now move to Satish, and I would want to know, Satish, what kind of formats have you been using at Mphasis and how it has turned out so far?
Correct. So I guess our fellow panelist covered most of it. So if I were to kind of, and you may allow, split them into recruitment or recruiter perspective and from hiring manager perspective, right? I guess that's where most of our colleagues here on the forum also spoke about. We took the same approach. We did a deep dive. We did a POV around how do we make life simpler, because last 2 years we've been virtual, and till now we've been virtual, right? We've not called any candidate to our work location for interviews at all. The ATS that was just spoken about, we kind of added more. I would say, I wouldn't want to say edge computing because it's a different connotation, but we've gotten in parsing tools. Like what most of us spoke about, to make our life simpler. The recruiter used to get thousands of profiles across multiple channels, organic, inorganic, social, supplier, and so on and so forth, referrals, and so on and so forth. How do you parse them? How do you kind of stack rank them? Again, parsing is a very touchy term. I don't want to put it right here. Parsing would normally negate, like the erstwhile AI, which used to kind of reject profiles saying there is a career break, so I can't consider a profile, right? But so I want to be very watchful about it. We ensured we had a very simple parsing mechanism, wrote algorithm for every single technology stack that we hired. Even the shade of the technology is there, we picked them rather than dropping them out, right? So from a sourcing perspective, yes, we had a parsing tool that kind of automated most part of it. It may not be under the quote unquote umbrella of AI, but it's a fairly simple automated program that we ran through. From there, moving on to the ATS, there was a seamless movement. Once the parsing is done, the top stack rank of 80% profiles will be moved from apply to a shortlist bucket. And from there on, it follows the tech round 1, customer interviews, and then the HR rounds as well, right? All of these are done seamlessly through the ATS. Where we also introduced and made life simpler from a hiring manager perspective is we'd invested on a tool which kind of negates any of fraudulent activity, right? If someone does a lip sync, there is a delay in lip sync. There are multiple times a candidate looks out and in and so on and so forth. That captures all of these. And end of the assessment, it gives us saying, hey, 50% of the time, this guy is lip sync, there was an issue. You might have to watch out. Or 30% of the time, he was staring at somewhere else and not in the monitor. Watch out, right? So that gives an intelligent tool, and that's where the AI comes into picture, right? It comes back and says, this guy is genuinely picking up questions and trying to answer you so that you can go ahead and move him to the next level. This guy has some issue, you might want to kind of do another set of interview to kind of probe more. So the system kind of start giving up a lot of information for that. What we also did is in the same system, we also introduced the whiteboarding concept. We being an SI firm, typical IT organization, we also did a check by saying, look, why don't you write a construct? This is the use case. Why don't you kind of decipher this? If you were to write a 10, 20 liner code, how do you go about doing it? So that's an interactive mode that we created as well. So everything was single sign-on, single box. Both for the hiring manager and the recruiter, we don't have to go to multiple tools, multiple levels. We integrated everything, made it fairly seamlessly. In most cases, right, wherever there were customer interviews, we used the same tool, also projected and integrated with customer video proctoring tool as well. So we had that leverage. Customer also say, for example, a Blue Jean. Most of the banks in the US and Europe use Blue Jean as a product. I'm sorry, I'm naming it out here. Likewise, there are multiple tools. It could also be MS Teams, for example, right? Customers would want to do WebEx or MS Teams. Those are also integrated into or on top of our ATS through an API. So everything was seamless, no paperwork, manual work. Though we did volume, this kind of made life simpler. The last aspect that I want to cover is feedback, right? Like I'm connecting through phone. I had a major power grid issue. That's why I logged in late. We kind of enabled everything through mobile. right? Whether it's iOS or any platform, right, that you talk about, any level or any version of Android 10 and above, you can use your mobile phone. We kind of put in as speech to text conversion as well. So for every candidate after 45 minutes or so, the hiring manager, the recruiting manager need not type everything out. Using a mobile phone, press of a button, you can just do a conversation. The conversation gets converted as feedback for every aspect. For example, you hire a full stack engineer, every comment box, feedback box can be a comment, and that comment, voice comment, will be converted into text. Say he's good in language, he's good in infra, he's good in front end, he's good in back end. All of those will be converted into text, and that stores up, right? All of these very, very less bandwidth using mobile phone as well. So these are few changes that we did. From an assessment perspective, we kind of broke the rule of running in a whole 9-yard assessment. We said, let's do nano assessment. I mean, if you're hiring for a UI or a UX or a particular language in IT, why make him go through the entire 9-yard coding assessment, right? Break them into chunk. 5, 6, 10 questionnaires. One could be objective, few could be subjective. Just close it out, right? So these are a few changes that we did, which is resulting very well. We are meeting our SLA about 83, 84%. Yes, the flip side to this, the market being market, the joiner ratio is much lower, and I'm sure most of our colleagues would agree to that as well. But that apart, but we made life simpler for the recruiter and the hiring manager, predominantly using technology.
So, my major key takeaway from this, the entire section that we have just addressed about using technology, I feel that it has actually made our life easier, what it used to be. And I think the kind of people we are trying to get onboarded with has also certain filtration. You have a legit answer to them that why they're not being hired, because you benchmark scores into a certain manner and you try to perform and filter them through a certain process. So fair, point made. Thank you so much for that. I will now move to the next question, that how are you ensuring, how do you actually reduce that entire hiring tag for your team? And what is a healthy tag that you consider to close any tech positions? So Charles, I'll begin with you.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, we focus majorly on the young folks, especially the freshers. So we have 2, 3 gateways for people to join in. So one, is our regular drives, which happens at the campus for the college graduates, who pass by, and that's common. And today, since it's virtual, we are really blessed. Any student from Pan India can participate, or across the globe can participate. And number 2, if you look at somebody who missed the opportunity till the final gate, I missed my final interview, I'm not able to get into our Zoho, right? For them, we have initiated a process called incubation, which happens for about 90 days. We work with them, work with small projects with them. If everything goes well, if both sides, if we are good, we hire them. The third important USB of Zoho's hiring is Zoho Schools of Learning, wherein we hire students between the age group of 17 to 20, right from their 12th grade or from diploma, and we take them in for a 24 months program. First year, they will be part of the classroom training. We train them the basic stuffs, basic programming. And, the second year, they get into the teams for their internship and full-time training. We pay them stipend. And the third year, they get into as an employee, wherein a graduate with 4 years or 6 years of a college gets in after paying fees and so on, during the 7th year or the 5th year. These kids who join us between the age of 17 to 20, the 25th month, they get in par with a college graduate. So this helps us.
So it's more like, train and hire kind of, format that you follow, right? So that's pretty interesting. Anil, would you like to add something here? I would want to know from you that what is the healthy tag that you normally consider to close any tech positions in your organization?
So if you look at, Capgemini and what we have hired this year, we have hired 60,000 plus candidates this year, who have become an employee of Capgemini. And of course, to hire this kind of, at this kind of scale, you have to bring in automation. And like, most of the panelists mentioned, we have an AI-based sourcing, we have a chat bot, then you have technical assessment partners. you have a tool which, you engage with the candidate. You don't do the interview just over Microsoft Teams. So we have a platform where you can do the interviews, you can record the videos, you can, get the feedback. And we also have a tool that we have for engaging with the candidate post offer. Having done all this automation in the hiring process, and we have been doing good, in my view, for an experienced hire, if we are getting people, given that our notice periods are 90 days, okay, and that is not changing. Everybody wants a candidate to join with all set of documents. I would say anything between 65 to or 70 to 80 is a good turnaround time. Of course, you will hire some people in 30 days, some people in 120 days. But if you are between 65 to 80 or 70 to 80, I think, and this I'm talking experienced hire, not freshers. I think, that's the way I would put it.
Thank you, Anil. So we spoke about the entire hiring turnaround time that you consider. I would now like to know that what is the range and what is the kind of ROI that we are yielding from the methods or the format we are currently using, and what factors do you exactly consider while calculating your recruitment yield or ROI? I should say. So, James, I would like to know this from you.
So just to add to what Anil mentioned about the turnaround time, and and this is one thing that always gets debated, and many a times even our stakeholders, give us some sort of a turnaround time that they want the candidates for. And obviously, even if you try to work at around what Anil mentioned, around up to 80 days or so as your turnaround time, you will have certain positions that you are able to close, certain positions that you are not able to close. And you will hear a lot of noise level about the number of positions that you are not closed, rather than of all the things that we are closed as a TA team. And that's where, I always look at that in a different manner of seeing that the percentage of positions that I have closed in the turnaround time. So if I'm closing around 90% in time and 10% not in time, please don't make the noise. Please appreciate me for the 90% that I have done in time. So that's a different way of ensuring that, we look at some of this stat as well. And now coming back to your question on the return on investment, my view clearly is that recruitment as a function, the investments need to be looked at completely different, in a different manner from the perspective as far as business is concerned. Because the more that any organization invests as far as recruitment is concerned, be it your technology, be it your manpower, be it your various type of automation that you want to do, the returns that you get through that becomes important. End of the day, what does business want? You want additional revenue. You want to ensure that your overall costs are coming down, right? And if you're looking at your additional revenue, the best way to look at this return of investment from me is that look at a budget, look at what is it that you're budgeting for your overall recruitment based on, all the manpower, your technology, your various portals, what all you're investing on. And then go back and see as a percentage to a revenue, where are you? If your revenues are increasing and your percentage of your cost as far as recruitment is concerned is very low, then obviously it's a good return on investment. The other way to look at it is compare it within year to year. Because many a times, there are isolated business that keeps on cribbing about the cost per hires, that keep on cribbing about, the overall recruitment dependency on vendors and various other stuff. But we forget to look at the turnover ratio. Have you seen that the overall turnover ratio as far as your manpower is concerned, has it reduced? Where are you as far as your quality of hire is concerned? Which again can be, looked at in some of the programs or in some of the businesses. End of your training, what sort of a throughput that you got, what sort of an early attrition that you had as far as your as compared to your various other times are concerned. Over beyond that, definitely you can look at your annual turnover ratio as well to see that how are you doing as far as compared to the other years are concerned. So I think these are some of the key aspects that we need to look at when we calculate the return on investment.
Thanks, James. Kalpak, what's your take when it comes to these considerations?
Yeah, sure. See, I think we need to look at it from slightly different perspective as well, because the ROI has a very particular definition which is related with the investment that you have done, right? And in what context you have done the investment. Look at the job market last year. When the pandemic just started, job market was not very hot. It was very dull. So most of the companies might have had very great return of investment because that time they were investing in market was a bit sluggish. This year, market has opened up. I mean, my colleague would agree that today, I was just reading an article that in a technology sector, the offer acceptance rate is hardly 30, 35, 40%. Because the demand is so much and the supply is limited today. With the digital coming and lot of companies globally within India, within last 18 months have heavily invested as a consumer product in digital space, which has driven an unprecedented demand for talent in that area, technology, right? So when you go from a conventional hiring or conventional talent acquisition process to a automated or AI and RPA-driven process, there are two areas that you look at your return of investment coming in. Number one is the tactical areas where you see the cycle time reduction, how much time it used to take to hire a candidate earlier versus how much it takes today. What's your footfall conversion? Because you are available most of the time. It's not person-dependent sourcing. So your sourcing channels are on every point in time, and your candidate flow is much higher. So you're getting a better footfall. And the last point on the tactical side is how is the candidate experience in the whole process? You have deployed your ATS, you have deployed various CRMs that take care of candidate follow-up, candidate journey assessment, scheduling of interviews and stuff like that. So we look at those metrics and we see that, when we have made our changes in terms of our hiring technology, how has this particular aspect improved? Coming to the business aspect of it, cost per hire is one of the big metrics that we look at, that by doing this investment, if your churn is more, your footfall is more, your conversion is better, that means that you are hiring more people in a lesser time with lesser cost. And when I say lesser time, it also has a relation to loss of revenue. There are a lot of roles that we hire. I mean, typically in a BPM space, my 70% hiring is on customer support side, where even a single FTE delayed as a loss of revenue for us. And we look at loss of revenue as a very serious metric from a hiring perspective. There are two more aspects, and I think James already spoke about one of them, that with all the technology infusion, the efficiency and quality of the product has to improve. And where will it be visible? On the performance side, down the line, when you hire a new recruit, how are he and she is performing? How is their deliverables? And are they matching with the assessment that we did or assumption that we build around their capability? And how is their retention? I think these are 4 or 5 metrics that definitely we look at when we say that, is the return of investment is fair? Is it in our favor, or is there something that we need to look at different? I hope I was able to answer what you asked for.
Absolutely, and I really, feel that was a very interesting point that you made, that the candidate experience is very important. The kind of experience they drive out through any recruitment drive that's happening in any organization creates a wide impression about you, right? The kind of questions that you put in, and the kind of the difficulty level of the questions, everything matters in there. With this, I have a very important question.
In fact, sorry to inject there. Today, organizations are looking at how much time a candidate is spending remaining idle in the process. And that's considered as a time which is not good. You don't expect candidate to sit idle, do nothing, or wait for response, wait for follow-up, wait for rescheduling. And that's where this heavy investment into the base CRM that supports your rate.
That's right. I would completely agree to that. With this, I would like to move to Satish. And Satish, you were speaking about various question formats that we roll out within the organization for the candidates. Tell me, how important are these formats of assessment for an organization and for the candidates?
But on a lighter side, the more tenured candidates are now, they're reluctant to take assessments. Right? Let me table that out very clearly. I mean, if you're going to call a ticket and say, look, I will take you through a module leader assessment program, he's going to say, thank you, I have companies that offers me without an assessment. So that's what we're grappling with. I think most of my previous panelists spoke about it as well. So it's getting increasingly a very dicey situation where the demand is 2.5, 3x, and the supply is about 0.75 to 1x, right? So that's where the crunch is, right? And Kalpak spoke about the same thing, right? It's just getting very, very tight in terms of what we in recruitment call as the in-process dropout. By the time you do a weekend drive on a Saturday, and Monday you go back and say, look, I'm going to put you onto my customer, or I'm going to do my level 2 assessment for you. He's going to say, I already have an offer. Can you offer right now or no? Right. So that's the candidate market that we are facing in today's context, right? And given the current market, if you're going to say, look, I'm going to do a pre-screening, I want you to tell me 5 things that you can do as a developer. He's going to say, take a walk, right? Or, you've shortlisted, you will have to go through a HackerRank, HackerEarth, or any of the assessment for that matter, right? Tech Gig, could be any assessment. They're going to come back and say, look, why would I do this? I have companies that are kind of just taking me by just talking to me for about half an hour, 45 minutes. You guys want me to spend about an hour, 2 hours to take an assessment, to check my coding capability and so on and so forth, right? So that's why we went ahead and said, look, let's not do a elaborate 9-yard assessment. Let's keep it fairly simple and short. If I'm going to hire you for a Angular or a React or say a GCP or an Azure or a Pivotal, any of these technologies that you talk about, right? It could be cloud, it could be DevOps, it could be just pure development, .NET, Java, whatever skill set that it is. Can I gauge my potential candidates' depth and breadth on only that area? The rest, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're going to have a conversation any which means with a candidate, right? So that's the first part that we did. Then secondly, because of the nuances that we started seeing, where as soon as you say there is a pre-assessment for you to take before getting into a hiring manager discussion, people are just falling off, right? Then you said, look, we will do a 45-minute to 1 hour assessment, right? When I say assessment, it's going to be a discussion with an interviewer. And during that interview, that could be a 10, 15-minute, what we call as a nano assessment that happens that I spoke about some time back, right? So we do a proctored video assessment discussion. We do lip syncing and eyeball movement, and number of times someone stays outside, hands out, points out, types something, all of those are captured. Along with this, right? The interviewer, the hiring manager feels, hey, look, I want to test him on a specific area. We will do the whiteboarding immediately simultaneously. So we don't do a separate assessment per se. We don't want to kind of let go of the talent that are even kind of applying. So we kind of started combining these two, right? We have a discussion orientation. Along with it, there is a whiteboard assessment that happens simultaneously. So it makes life easier. Within an hour, I get to do interview and assessment to a large extent and make it much more compliant in terms of, we don't know who's faking, who's not faking when you do an audio assessment, audio discussion, or a for example, even Teams could be edited to a large extent, or WebEx could be edited to a large extent. So that's the combination that we started doing. One. What we also started doing is when the applications are more and pouring in for a specific event that we run through, right? During the qualification, right? I think one of the panelists spoke about, when you apply and upload your profile, we ask 5 simple questions, right? Hey, this is more like a teaser, right? When there is an open parenthesis, close parenthesis with some mark out there, how do you qualify this? Right? There is an objective type, right? You have to click one of these two. So we made it gamified to a large extent, and without candidate knowing that we are assessing them quickly on that. It could be conscious, subconscious, that they will ask and do it irrespective. We at least have some gauge, some attempt of saying, hey, can we qualify this individual, leaving at a screen level, saying, yes, he's attempted these 5 questions. He's written 1 string and he's uploaded the profile. We're still okay to do it. We've also started accepting video profiles, right? You say, hey, 30 seconds, why don't you upload your video by saying what you've done better, what projects you've worked on. So that kind of gives us the confidence that, hey, these are things that he's already done. So I'm not going to go back and deep dive onto it and assess him or her around that perspective, but let me move on to the other aspects as well. And during interview, should there be a need, the interviewer jumps in and say, look, I also want to test this out. So can we do a short burst, coding, right? Why don't you write 3 codes to kind of resolve this issue? It ends there. So we made assessments much more simpler, much more intuitive, much more candidate friendly and hiring manager friendly as well. And that's kind of working by large, right? Like our gentleman spoke about Capgemini, we hire in volumes as well. So with the volumes coming in, you can't spend half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour of assessments as pre-screening, right? Logically, with the supply demand cycle that we're having right now, there is a huge dropout during in process. So to cut that out, this has worked wonders for us, and I'm sure I'll let others also allude to it.
Thanks, Satish. And I understand that various formats actually gives diverse experiences to the candidates as well. So I think that's an add-on. Radhika, I'll move to you. You spoke about the IDEs, right? So how can live IDEs increase the effectiveness of candidate assessments by their tech teams? What's your take onto that?
Sure, definitely. I think, Satish, that was very insightful. I was making a note of several practices that you quoted. I think one of it is, again, connecting to IDE section of it, Shruti. And I guess that's something that I heard from a few other speakers as well, right? When it comes to IDEs, again, as I started the intro, there are different IDEs serving different purposes, right? Again, I think what we need to pick and choose is where is our problem, right? And which one we wanted to target the most, right? I mean, maybe before pandemic started, we felt that I think we needed an IDE at a college grad hiring level, because that was where we were hiring in a bulk, whereas remaining we were all meeting in person, and then we didn't have too many challenges. So we introduced one small IDE at a college grad level. That's where the assessments, etc. It's a standard form of IDE. But over time, when the pandemic again changed the need and the type of IDE that we need for a lateral hiring too, that's when now we introduced some of the additional tools. Definitely, I'm not naming it. Just because in this platform I don't want to start quoting the tools, but otherwise we introduced a different set of IDs. Those are actually yielding better results. And again, going back to what Anil quoted in terms of the turnaround time, I think what Anil is quoting was the end-to-end from the time you post the position to somebody filling the seats, right? Whereas for us, just from the time that we are posting the position to release the offer itself is after all the IDs and all of the interaction, we are at a 40 days to 45 days. And then think about it, on top of it, the 2 months, 3 months time gets added, right? So the point I'm trying to say is, in spite of we carefully looking, picking and choosing several IDs, there is always a consistent need of looking for eliminating the waste. If I can talk in the Six Sigma terms, eliminating the waste or candidate waiting for the next step. So those are the areas where we are continuing to see that there is definitely a room for improvement. I think, yeah, it depends on how well we are using these IDEs too, but they are definitely helpful. Net. Without that, we would not even get the visibility of where we are having a waste. Versus now, at least we start to identify where we are having a waste in the process, and then we are putting some checks and balances there.
Thanks, Radhika. I think that completely makes sense, and thank you for adding your, credibility of your experience to this important section that we address when it comes to the technical assessment and evaluation. That was one interesting and interesting conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Charles, Kalpak, Satish, James, and Radhika. It was an absolute delight speaking with each one of you on how technology is actually aiding the technical recruitment and evaluation space for each one of us. And forums like this actually help us understand what we are doing and how we are doing. I would like to have one quick closing remarks from each one of you. Radhika, will begin with you.
All right. First and foremost, thank you for having me here. Definitely, I could see myself being an odd person in the group, but then believe me, I enjoyed this discussion. And James, I have made a note of your comment about, hey, 90% of the time I'm meeting the turnaround time, please recognize. And then you made me realize that while my talent acquisition team was exactly doing the same thing, I was hanging around to the 10%, which I'm going to go back and start watching. Right after this conversion, I'll ping my talent acquisition manager and thank them for meeting the turnaround time 90% of the times. And similarly, I have made a note of several learnings from here personally. And coming to the topic of the discussion, Sukriti, thank you for driving this discussion. I'm sure again the participants who are listening to us also are taking away different points, what suits them, and I think they'll go back and start improving their talent assessment and then get best ROIs. And good luck to everybody. We are in the same challenging, dynamic environment that each one of us competing for the same talent with high demand and less supply.
Thanks, Radhika. Satish?
Well, assessments, few, many, how many hour, right? Irrespective. I guess that most of us in this call are, I want to call ourselves as revenue generators next to sales, because we go get the talent in and start clicking in on the revenue and profitability. Keep the journey going. Use tools appropriately. Don't use tools for the sake of using them for the sake of compliance, right? It's just going to hurt us. It's going to hurt the conversions, like what most of us spoke about in the call as well. Wherever needed, use them as an aid. Don't use them as a mandate. I guess once we realize that, I guess that's going to help us a lot. Choose your tool wisely, and make life simpler. End of the day, it has to make life simpler for the hiring manager and the recruiter. Right? I will leave it at that thought.
Thanks, Satish. James? We can't hear you, James.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. So yeah, I think, need to be very honest as far as the function is concerned. Tell your stories to your stakeholders. Let them know what are the challenges out there in the market, because many of these guys are not aware what's happening in the market, or even if they're aware, then they, they prioritize their work amongst the other work that they have. And that's where, data becomes very important. Try to prove them with the data stating that what is the number of people that you have rejected, what are the number of people that you have, interviewed later on. Look at those stats, look at those data, and get back to the, drawing board and tell them what's working, what's not working, and collaboratively, how can we work to, close positions so that, as Satish mentioned, generate revenue for the organization, reduce costs. I think that becomes very important. So thank you all again. It was a very enriching session, and enjoyed the overall, discussion as well. And thank you to Sukriti for managing it.
My pleasure, James. Charles?
Yes, thank you, Sukriti. First of all, thanks to the entire team. Amazing learning indeed. I think we are looking forward for a very, very interesting years ahead. It's high time to find a meaningful alternative to our conventional way of looking at things. As Satish rightly pointed out, how simply and with employee experience, we can bring in a difference in our process.
Thank you. Kalpak?
Yep, thank you so much. It was really interesting conversation. I keep saying that the talent war is not a linear process, right? It's not that if the complexity has started, it will constantly remain as it is. There will be a normal at point in time. And the challenge is when that normal comes, the bigger question will be what's next, right? I only look at it from the point of view that with the technology adoption, we also need to ensure that the technology credibility remains intact. It remains tamper-proof, because many of the speakers did speak about that. How do you ensure that your 36 or 72 point personality assessment or biometric assessment would still not be in a position to hide an impersonation case, or a person who sneaks into the assessment without probably having the right qualification or skills. How do we make our assessment tools more proof from a point of crack on these elements? Second piece is that always excites me is that what's next? It's going to be a challenge, because more and more companies are becoming homogeneous now. You talk about BPM sector 5-10 years ago. We probably less spoken about technology. Today, every BPM provider has its own technology arm with providing digital and bot services, and they have their own development centers. The question comes is, from a candidate point of view, how do you differentiate a technology organization and a non-technology organization? And therefore, how these products remain seamless and easily adaptable by any type of organization for the skill assessment that we need. I think we'll have to wait and watch how this piece evolves.
Thanks, Kalpak. Anil?
I would say technology and assessments bring in speed, scale, agility, consistency in the hiring process. But two elements that are very, very important is, of course, a client centricity, because you're bringing in all this assessment for your hiring managers, for your client. And the second would be, in all this, we need to focus on the candidate experience, because eventually it's that candidate that you're giving that experience to get him on board. So that's how I would sum it up.
Thank you so much, Anil. Thank you so much, everyone. I had an amazing time speaking to each one of you, and I'm sure all the insights that you've shared is very useful for all of us, and it actually makes sense. And we understand what kind of challenges, what kind of strategies are in place right now in the market, and we'll be waiting for things to unfold in the coming time so that we can improvise as in the technology is advanced, and we also adopt each of the technologies basically in all possible manners. So thank you so much once again for being here, gentlemen. And Radhika, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
For us to understand some of the contests that are coming up, I would like to tell everyone again that there is a create an assessment contest that is actually running throughout the conclave. You can try your hands onto it and win amazing Amazon vouchers. You need to follow some simple steps here. Visit the live platform, enter the lobby, click on the contest standee near the help desk, check the problem statement and instructions, create a test best suited for the hiring scenario in the problem statement, and send invites to see the test reports. So please go ahead, check out your skills and your requirements, and then create a test. We will get back to you very soon with your vouchers in case if you win them. Moving on, let's go ahead, and the next segment that I have is of the trivia quiz, wherein your observation of the entire conversation we had and of the market that's there currently requires your attention. What you need to do is follow the instructions. Go to the link that will be that will be displaying on the screen right now. Answer questions there, and then you get a chance to win exciting vouchers. You will find all the answers on www.speedhire.com. So please go ahead, check out this link, answer these questions, and you might just win. So let's go ahead. Please display the link for our audience. About 15 minutes for this quiz. So the clock is ticking. You just have 15 minutes. Click onto this link. Go on, find the answers on www.speedhire.com, and you never know, you might just win. So let's go ahead. Please follow the instructions there. This is the link, audience. Also, the top 10 performers here are going to win Amazon vouchers worth ₹1,000. So that's a prize that we've kept for your interest and enthusiasm here. So ensure that you take part and you answer those questions there. Navigate through the website properly. Ensure that the answers are there. It lies within the website. So just go ahead and do it. Let's see, audience. The clock is already ticking. We have 15 minutes that we have allocated for this trivia quiz. I hope all of you are participating in there, right? Let's make sure that all of you participate, because apart from this, you will also earn scores if you participate in this quiz. So the overall leaderboard scores will also vary if you do not participate here. So just ensure that you have an add-on with the prize that we are designating for this particular contest, as well as for the overall leaderboard that we have declared on the platform today. So I'm just hoping that everybody is there answering the questions. I just hope that you are able to find out the answers also. Let's go. We have already passed 4 minutes, and we're remaining with 11 minutes now. Let's see. Please ensure that you navigate through the website and find the correct answers only. You don't have to do anything. Look at the questions, find out the answers from the website. I'm again repeating the website that you'll get the answers from. It's www.speedhire.com. You will get all the answers there. Just be very keen while you're looking at those questions. Be very conscious while you're picking up the answers also. You don't have to actually hassle and hurry through it. We have 15 minutes, and I'm sure that's a sufficient time for everyone to get your answers from the questions that's there on this link that we have provided you with. Please ensure that you're there and you're getting the answers. I'm just hoping that audience, you're getting the answers, right? Navigate through the website. Audience, the website is www.speedhire.com. All the answers are there. Meanwhile, another announcement here, as I had discussed earlier also, I've made an announcement earlier that we are giving 15 free demos. So it's everyone can claim it. You just have to claim it within the 7 days, and then you can make use of it. SpeedHire free demos are also here in the part of Conclave for everyone. So that's something that you can always claim and utilize, and then get back to us with your experience of SpeedHire together. For now, you need to answer these questions. Let's see, what kind of enthusiasm we will get by the end of this, conclave, because we will be declaring the results very soon, I should say, by the end of this conclave. By the time we get over with all the segments, post that, we will be declaring the results. So let's get going. 3:15 is the time that we will be closing the link, and the entire quiz, the trivia will not be available for everyone and anyone to see anymore. So utilize these 15 minutes and submit your answers, navigating through the website of the www.speedhire.com. You will get all the answers. Very simple. I'm sure some of you might have found the answers and already submitted your the answers for your quiz. So let's get going, audience. We have some exciting prizes, and we're not just actually designating the one performer here. We will be giving out vouchers to 10 performers here, the top 10 performers with Amazon vouchers of ₹1,000 each. So the clock is ticking. It's already 3:06, and 3:15 we'll be closing this. Audience, also, we have create an assessment contest, as I told you, and we are running this throughout the conclave. And, in order to have better insights of the product here, we will be coming up with some interesting segments. Meanwhile, you can take that to create an assessment contest also and try your hands onto it and avail the Amazon vouchers again. What you need to do is just visit the live platform, enter the lobby, click onto the contest standing near the help desk, check the problem statement and instructions, create a test best suited for the hiring scenario and the problem statement, and send invites and see the test reports. So this is a very quick hands-on that we are trying to provide you with, we are trying to experiment with, so that you get a hands-on experience of our product right in there to understand how and what kind of things you can explore with us. So just go ahead, follow these simple methods, and then you can actually participate in the Create an Assessment contest, which has, which also has Amazon vouchers. So please go ahead and, you ensure that you create an assessment here with us, and you can win Amazon vouchers worth ₹16,000 here by creating a simple assessment. So I'm just hoping that all of you are very, very excited about this quiz that we have just, availed on the screen right now. We will actually declare the results today itself. So you need not wait much after you take this, quiz with us. So just looking forward to maximum participation amongst the audience. Let's see what happens. Folks, there are very interesting segments coming up after this quiz, and just looking forward to some amazing things that will unfold during the conclave for you. So let's just ensure that you participate in each segment, and you're there throughout the conclave. It's just a matter of a couple of hours here, which can earn you wonderful vouchers, Amazon vouchers. You can win, and you can earn our free demos also here once you're a part of the conclave and you attend the entire conclave, right? So that's the condition here. You'll have to be a part of the entire conclave for the entire time till 4. And post that, we have networking session also. Although, we're not doing this physically. I know physical networking means a different level of contacting each other, but we have tried to facilitate that for everyone here through an e-meet, which will be, taking place in the lounge after we are done with the final vote of thanks and conclusion. And as I mentioned, we will also be calling out the results, declaring the winners for our, trivia quiz. So you will not have to wait for more than an hour to know if you are a winner or not here. Let's see, audience, the clock is ticking. It's already 3:10. We just have 5 minutes. I hope you have got the answers. If not, please navigate through the website and you ensure that you're getting all the answers. You need to go to www.speedhire.com and explore the answers there, and you'll be able to find all of them there. And I'm sure, top 10 performers would have made it at least, hoping that you've got the answers. For those of you who've not, take your time. We have 5 more minutes, and you will just ensure that the top performers are declared today evening itself. So we're going to make a good weekend for all the people who are going to win today. And if not this, you can win through the leaderboard also, and you'll have your scores there. As I told you earlier, that we have allocated scores for each segment, each of the sections that are there present here on our platform. So you earn 5, score of 5 if you see the agenda. If you're visiting the auditorium, there's 5 points. Then if you're visiting the exhibition hall, you earn 10 pointers altogether. A video chat with the booth staff can earn you 20 pointers. Downloading the brochure can give you 20. Chat in the networking lounge will give you 40. Filling in the query form, 30. Participation in the trivia quiz as we speak can earn you 50 points. And participation in the Create an Assessment contest has the highest score, where you can earn 100 points. So all these sections you go, you create your space in the leaderboard, and you can earn prizes. So as I mentioned earlier, we will be actually allocating 1,000 rupees vouchers, Amazon vouchers, to the top 5 people on the leaderboard. So with the highest number of points, of course. So just ensure that if you're not winning here, you can at least win the leaderboard. Be there throughout the conclave, and you might just be lucky today. We will try to give you a good weekend time with the happiness of winning some amazing vouchers throughout the event today. Okay, it's 3:12 now. 3 more minutes, and then we will be closing this, and we will move to the next segment. For people who were done with this, trivia quiz, I would like to tell you, you can go to the Create an Assessment contest. Meanwhile, utilize this time, folks. You can go to the Create an Assessment contest, and there you can actually create an assessment, create a simple assessment there. While in, I'll follow the steps, what you need to do if you're down to the trivia here. Go to the live platform, enter the lobby, check the contest standing near the help desk, check the problem statement and instructions, create test best suited for the hiring scenario in the problem statement, and send invites, and you can instantly see the test report. So this is something that is going to actually earn you 100 pointers. So meanwhile, if you're done with this trivia, you can actually get back to creating an assessment here simply, and we have allocated 16,000 rupees vouchers here. So we have huge prizes that's allocated in this section. Just ensure that you make use of this time if you're done with the assessment. It's 3:13, 2 more minutes to go. I hope we are creating that excitement, and I'm sure the winner is somewhere amongst us now, and we will get to know that after an hour, because we'll be getting over with this trivia by 3:15. And post that, I think we should be able to get back to you with the names of our winners by the end of this conclave. So let's get going. The clock is ticking, guys. We just have 2 minutes. And you have all the answers on the SpeedHire website. So just go there, ensure that you're getting all the answers, and you're getting all the answers correct. You know, it's a very good way of exploration. You tend to find out things and features, and you come to know about a product by means of just little exploration. And this trivia quiz might earn you a little, some vouchers, I should say. But this will also give you, a whole lot of hands-on onto what our website is all about, what our product is all about, and what are the special features that actually makes us stand out in the market altogether. So I'm sure you're having a good time during this conclave. I know I've been, giving out all the details to you. So just ensure that you hear me out properly. And this link has also been, provided in the chat window for all of you to access. So we are looking forward to some winners here today. And it's 3:15. Guys, I think it's time for us to close the trivia and get going. I hope all of you are almost done with the trivia quiz today. So we can actually say that the time is up and move to our next segment. All right. So it's time for us to move to the next segment. And we have, I'm just hoping that we had an enthusiastic participation from all of you. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll declare the results in the end. So keep up the excitement and stay tuned. Ensure that you are part of all the segments that's there, today in this conclave. Moving ahead with the next segment, where we have two of our experts from the industry who are going to share their experiences of SpeedHire altogether. Let's watch out for these two special industry leaders, Sandeep Shinde, Manager Recruitment Operations from Micron, and Veena Mowgli, Assessment Lead from Persistent Systems. So, Sandeep, to begin with, how has your experience been with us, and how do you think SpeedHire has actually helped you hire right people with the right efficiency?
Yes, so far the experience is very nice. We are associated with TechGeek for a pretty long period of time. I remember when we started that time, we don't have such kind of platform. Whatever the interviews happen, that is the true internal process. We didn't use any, third-party application to, assess the candidates. But after that, we associated with the TechGeek, and everything, the recruitment process entirely has been changed. Okay, so we use this platform for our internal as well as the external hiring, and now we can see that we're quality people working with Micron.
Lovely. So your experience has been pleasant, and I'm really happy to know that. Next thing that I would want to know from you, that what is the biggest advantage of the product that you think that you can put across in the market, and how things have modified when you talk about SpeedHire for you?
Yeah, I especially like about this product, that is the simplicity, as I wanted to tell you briefly, because the product which is very easy to handle, both the parties, basically the technical people who actually create the test. Okay, that's the employer side, and the second is the candidate who's actually going to use and do the test. Okay, that is two thing. And second, when the technical people creating the test, they can the TechGeek has a in-house library. Which is very vast library, where whenever you want to utilize, you can easily access that library, and you can create the test as per your requirement, and you can give it to the candidates as well. So that is the one thing which I really like about this product.
Wonderful. So tell me, help me understand, Sandeep, that who in the organization is actually using our product SpeedHire, and how do you think it has actually increased their efficiency when it comes to hiring folks and giving the right tat of the entire recruitment process?
Yeah, so currently, using this platform across the locations, we have multiple business units, multiple accounts. We are using this. So even continuously getting feedback from the business people, as compared to other product, the TechGeek is very best being given an actual result on a time. Okay, and very employer friendly, basically easy to access. because of that, we are able to hire the right, skill the technical people in the organizations.
Lovely. And how would you rate our product SpeedHire when it comes to actually hiring people at scale?
If you ask me about giving this rating scales like 1 to 10, I can definitely give you more than 8.
Lovely. Thank you so much
Whatever
for that.
the experience I have so far. Based on that, I can recommend it other people as well to use the techie platform in case you want to hire a right technical talent in the organization.
Lovely. Thank you so much for all the inputs, Sandeep. It was a delight talking to you. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to have you in the call. Thank you.
Folks, I also have Veena Mowgli with me, who leads the Assessment Center for Persistent Systems. And TechGeek's association with Persistent has been persistent. So Veena is here to share all her experiences with me today here in this conclave. Welcome to the conclave, Veena.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to you guys. And yeah, one of our most valuable partners is TechGeek for assessments.
Thank you, Veena. So, without much ado, I'll quickly switch to the questions, and I'm really keen to know about all your experiences with SpeedHire and TechGeek as well. So, help me understand how has your experience been with us, and as a product, how would you recommend SpeedHire in the market?
So SpeedHire, we've had a great experience. It has helped us immensely throughout these years. During the pandemic, we faced with a couple of challenges, one of which was conducting assessments virtually and effectively. So that was the time when we realized a proctoring tool was the most necessary thing that we had to look for. That's when we were introduced to TechGeek, and it has really enabled us to successfully use the proctoring capabilities to conduct our assessments virtually anytime and anywhere.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that, Veena. Moving on to the next one, help me understand that what are the features that you majorly use, and what are the most liked and the beneficial part that you think it has?
Absolutely. So yeah, there are many features that I would really vouch in for when it comes to TechGeek. But let me pick the 3 most beneficial features that I would like to talk about today. TechGeek has been beneficial with the video proctoring aspect a lot. It has helped us immensely, wherein the video and a live image of the candidate gets captured. If there is an assessment which is of an hour's duration, now I have an entire video of 1 hour of each participant. Now, how is this going to help us? This helps us immensely when we want to catch hold of any malpractices, or this helps us zero down on the misuse of or during the assessment tenure or the assessment duration, basically. So yeah, this is one of the most important feature that I feel is the one that we've been using at Persistent. Talking about the second one is a sectional cutoff feature. Now here, when we would want to assess a candidate's coding capabilities only, we specially use this kind of feature, wherein we make sure that a person who clears or who gets well through the coding round will only move on to the second and the third round subsequently. So again, this has been really good to help us analyze which candidates to pick and choose. The second one is the clone feature. Now, cloning an existing event or a test helps us in doing away with a lot of manual tasks which is involved, which again helps us to utilize our bandwidth effectively and in most appropriate manner. So this has again been very helpful in terms to become scalable in the current current need or the business requirement that we have. So this feature helps us being scalable, helps us save our bandwidth, So yeah, again, this is one of the cool feature that I would say for TechGig.
Wonderful. I'm really delighted to hear that it's been such a pleasant experience for you while you've been
Absolutely.
using SpeedHire as a product, Veena. This is the last one that I would want to know from you, that which team is exactly using this product, SpeedHire, and how efficient has their their overall time management has been, because we just spoke about time which is very important for a team to manage and actually put into the right resource altogether. So help me understand that.
So yeah, persistent L&D team is using SpeedHire. Now, why we are using is to leverage our assessments in an effective way. This also helps us drive competency improvement and skill upgradation of our employees across the organization. So yes, TechGig has been beneficial in all possible ways, and we would definitely love to have you guys as our assessment partner.
Thank you so much, Veena. I'm really glad to hear all the inputs that you've shared with me. The experiences are delightful for you, and we as partners would not actually expect anything more than that you're happy with us. So thank you so much, Veena, for sharing all these experiences with us and adding that testimony to our our process and strategies in place.
Thank you so much, Sukriti. It was really great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Veena. A pleasure talking to you. Thank you for being a part of this conclave. All right, so that was an interesting take from Synchron and Persistent. Now it's time for me to invite Gautam Ghosh, a renowned HR consultant, for a masterclass.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Sukriti, for inviting me. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. So, again, good afternoon on this Friday afternoon. I think all of us are part of, apart from the great rush for hiring technical talent that is going on, I think the next biggest talent war is going to be around tech recruiters themselves. I just had a chat with a friend of mine yesterday, and he shared that he's getting offers. He's a tech recruiter, and he's getting offers which with at least 50% of his salary jump. So yeah, I think it's great times for tech recruiters right now also, apart from technical talent. So I asked people on LinkedIn, to all the tech recruiters hiring programmers, developers, what's the biggest challenge that they face? And the vast majority of them, 70% of the 89 people who voted, said the resume doesn't reflect the reality. And I think as recruiters, while we are skeptical of resumes in general, assessment is one of the ways in which we can separate the wheat from the chaff, so as to say. Then I talked to some people, got some stats, and one of the biggest challenges people talked about how post the pandemic, the transition to remote hiring, hiring people remotely, meant a lot of hiring processes moved online. Recruitment itself underwent a digital transformation, if you will. Some stats I got, 83% of Indian recruiters, when they surveyed, said that, especially around technical recruitment, said that plagiarism is a big challenge while evaluating candidates for IT positions remotely. And yeah, I mean, we've kind of heard of stories, but it was the number of recruiters who agree was a kind of eye-opening for me. As I pointed out, assessing people on skills itself is impractical. According to a news report, around 70% of Indians lie on their resumes. 15% lie on their resumes. Bias by individuals can creep in, which gets in the way of hiring diverse candidates. Assessment can help in actually doing away with unconscious or cognitive biases that most of us as individuals, even while not wanting to be biased, we fall prey to biases. Manual expertise in programming does not scale easily. That means if you have a hiring manager or an expert assessing the code that people are writing, but when you're hiring a large number of people, them assessing each candidate's code means that they have to spend that much time in assessment, and most of the times you're taking away from. That means they're spending less time actually doing the job and more time hiring people. Also, if you give a great candidate experience through a good assessment environment, which assesses with an integrated development environment throughout the sourcing, assessing, and recruitment lifecycle, it impacts the organization's employer brand positively. And you can do that. We could do that if you do this over 2-3 different tools. The candidates, he or she might not feel it. And of course, getting people together to evaluate live coding, scheduling, a lot of teams, recruiting teams, and especially recruiters can spend a lot of time doing that. So that gets in the way of, again, takes up too much time and in scheduling, etc. So what does a good technical assessment product should have? It should be easy to use by anyone. Person with basic familiarity with a browser should be able to use it. It shouldn't be, a thing that needs to be explained a lot. It should have a large question bank, which is comprehensive and covers latest programming languages. It should give a report on each candidate's skill profiles, and it should also be flexible to use so that it can meet the needs of a company of any size. You might be a 500 people company today, but if you grow to 1,000 to 1,500 to 20,000 to 50,000, it should be able to meet the needs of any. You should not be able to. You should be able to scale along with you. As a lot of people have pointed out, it should have a proctoring tool that ensures only authentic candidates are doing the assessment. It should have the basics of an applicant tracking system that scheduling makes it easy and not a hassle for the recruiters to use. So that everybody also has, all the hiring managers, the panels, and the assessors can have one comprehensive bird's eye view of who's gone through which round and who's got feedback around whether they're going to the next round, which candidate has got feedback, and when is my assessment, how many people do I have to meet, etc. And it should give stats on how many people were invited to assess, how many logged on, and how many actually completed the assessments. So some kind of data around, how successful was my assessment drive would we need to have. So when the team at SpeedHire showed their product to me, some parts you'll no doubt you'll go through the whole product later on, but some points that stood out was one is a dashboard of stats, which kind of gives a very visual, at one point, showcase of what's the funnel like, how many people were invited, how many opened the invitation, how many clicked, and how many actually registered to take the test. So I think as a recruiter, you might know if I'm going to hire at least 50 developers, I would need to invite maybe around 2,000 people if and then you could also look at what's the what are the causes. You can drill down, why are people not opening or registering. You can have feedback for your marketing teams also to look at that. Of course, as I said, one of the things that you want is a specific individual results of each candidate. So here you could see that where has he lost marks, where has he scored marks, and which languages he's done well, not done well, etc. As I said, doctoring, as Veena from Persistent also pointed out, you can actually look at the whole time the person took the assessment, what has been the error, whether he or she has tried to click. You can actually remove right-click access to people, etc., or remove. They should not be able to look at any other tab on the browser also. That can also be customized. It gives one of the good points about objective assessments is that it cuts away bias, so you can actually have just the skills being assessed rather than other factor of which college he went to, he or she went to, where they are from, etc. That does not get into. You just look at the skill levels of the person. With SpeedHire Live, a panel can actually assess coding skills remotely. And that's another great feature in SpeedHire Live. One is you can use assessments to have, you can share it publicly that anybody can participate, or you can invite specific people to get assessed by sending them email invitations, which is where the funnel of the first dashboard I talked about. One of the biggest impact on assessments is, again, as was pointed out by speakers earlier, is the employees you can use internal events for like coding contests to build engagement, and also find out skills that might not have known that a person has by a lot of people keep being self-taught, but if it can actually help you uncover hidden talents without really, and then you might actually find out, oh, this person knows this skill also. So it unearths, of course, it also helps in great employee experience also. So with that, I think I'm done with my talk. Thank you, and keep in touch. That's my email address. You can tweet to me at Gautam Ghosh or connect with me on LinkedIn. Is there any questions that I can take, Sukriti? How am I doing for time?
No, Gautam, I don't think we have any questions. We can move to the next segment now. Thank you so much, Gautam. That was really helpful for our audience also to understand what our product means and what are the things that makes us different. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to deep dive and understand what makes SpeedHire different, as I said. And if you have a penchant for problem solving and making a killer assessment, we're about to present a small video exploring the specialized features here. And here's a catch for you. Now that you've seen you'll be seeing the features here and you'll be understanding the product more. Create an assessment contest is going to be very simple for you. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Hi, this is Survi. I am Senior Product Specialist in SpeedHire. You might have got feel of the product from Gotham. Now let me give you more deeper insight on our product. SpeedHire is a technically advanced AI-powered tool with capability to assess the developers in 56 coding languages. With SpeedHire, it becomes very easy to create tests and assess the candidate remotely with highly advanced proctoring and plagiarism features. When it comes to remote hiring, SpeedHire also supports global time zone. Well, in mid-level or bigger companies, there are dedicated teams for various hiring projects. So apart from various assessment features, we also provide user management and team management support with role-based access control on the platform, where team members can easily coordinate with each other within the platform itself. SpeedHire platform can be used for various different purposes such as campus hiring, lateral hiring, internal engagement, and branding. Specifically talking about hiring, SpeedHire as an assessment platform provides end-to-end support from ATS integration to L1 assessment, where you will be able to assess and shortlist the candidate, and then further you can set up the virtual interview with shortlisted candidate. Now let me divide my demonstration into 3 sections. 1. How easily you can create assessment in SpeedHire platform and send the test invite to the candidate. 2nd, once candidate has taken that test, then how recruiter can view report and shortlist the candidate based on the performance. And at last, how to conduct virtual interview with shortlisted candidate. So this is the test setting interface. So it is majorly divided into 2 sections. One is the contest description and second is the contest settings. So under contest description, here you have to put the basic details of the assessment like assessment name, company name, what are the skill set, as well as you can also upload logo and company banner. In the next step, you can define the test structure as well as you can add question paper. So in SpeedHire, you can add up to 5 rounds in one single assessment. Here I have already created 1 round for MCQ, basically to test the domain knowledge of the candidate, and another round I have created for the coding. Let me add question paper for the 2nd round. So these are the various question paper which I have created earlier. So if I want, I can select the one and I can use it in this particular round, reuse my old question paper, or else I can create the question paper from scratch. This is our library. So here, as we said that we support team management. So for every team, we provide separate library. So either you can select team library or company library, where all the questions will be accessible by all the team members. And then we have personal library and various SpeedHire library. Now once I select the library, further I can select the question type. So based on your hiring requirement, you can select the question type. So SpeedHire support MCQ, coding, data science, Java project, Spring Boot project, Angular project, React project, case study, subjective, and DB rank. So as you can see, we have around 15,000 questions in our library. Here you can further select the difficulty level based on the audience you want to target. And then here you can specify the skill for which you want to select the question. So suppose I want to select the questions for Java. So here we have more than 3,000 questions for Java skill set. So here in the left hand side, you can click on the checkbox to select the questions, and accordingly you can create a complete question paper. Now, in interest of time, let me select the question paper which are already available. So here, since I'm adding the question for coding round, so I will select coding. and I will search the question. So this is one of the question paper which I have created earlier. So here I can see the structure of the test paper, that how many questions are there, what are the total marks, and then I can, with just one click, I can reuse this question paper and my round is prepared. Moving ahead, in the next step, here you can add the contest description, rules, FAQs, terms and condition, and about company detail, which will be visible in the test landing page for the candidate. In the next step, here you can enter the time settings and you can publish your round for the participation. So till now we have done with our test settings, till now we have done with our adding question paper. Now in the next step, here are the test settings. So there are two modes of invitation. One is the invite mode and second is the public mode. So when you select the invite mode, the candidate to whom you have invited from our platform will be allowed to participate. And if you make your test link public, then anybody who has the access of this test URL will be allowed to participate. And if you want to target the specific domain, or you can say if you want to target a specific campus, so you can mention the domain name of the college and then candidate will be allowed to participate. Then we have a result section. So here you can decide whether you want to enable the result or not, whether you want to disclose the result to the candidate or not. Similarly, we have a leaderboard. Again, if you want to enable the leaderboard for gamification, you can do that. The best part of a tool is that it allows you to customize these test settings as per your requirement at round level. Similarly, we have about section where you can upload various JDs, as well as you can mention the price details. Maybe it can be some joining bonus. Then we have a question settings where you can mention the test duration as well as the number of attempts for a specific round. The same settings you can do for each and every round. At the bottom, these are the 56 coding languages. As per your hiring need, you can select the languages for the candidate, so that candidate will be forced to take the test in that particular language only. Then we have a proctoring settings in place. So one of the proctoring setting is live images of the candidate, which is a webcam proctoring. So if you enable this proctoring feature, various things will be captured in a candidate report, such as a screenshot of the test screen, snapshot of the candidate face, and the complete audio video of the candidate will be recorded, including the red flags such as multiple face detected, candidate move out of the test screen, and so on. Similarly, next proctoring feature is restrict browser new tab. If you enable these settings, the candidate will not be allowed to move out of the test screen, and here you can mention the number of warning. Once the number of warning is over, the test will be auto submitted. Similar case with the full screen mode. If you enable this, the candidate will not be allowed to get out of the full screen mode, and if you try to exit, his test will be auto submitted, and here you can define the number of warning. You can also restrict the copy paste in a coding editor if required. Next is a qualifying criteria where you can put the passing marks for each round, as well as you can also apply a level wise cutoff, where suppose if you set a level wise cutoff as 20, so the candidate who gets 20 or above 20 score in round 1 will be allowed to participate in next round. So in this way you can reduce your funnel. Next is a candidate details. So this is the so if you want to create your own custom registration form, so either you can select the predefined field which are available, or you can also create your own custom field as well. Once you are done with the test settings, if test creator want to review his or her the settings which he has done very quickly, so he can use the my checklist where he can go through all the settings done by him or her, and it will highlight the settings which is not done yet. So if I click on invite setting, it will take me to the invitation environment where I can invite the candidates. So either I can put the email ID one by one over here, or I can upload the email ID in a bulk format. Further, I can also edit the sender name, subject line, as well as the mailer body and send it to the candidate. Further, if you want, you can save that template for future use. So once the candidate receives the invitation mail, he can take the test. So this is how the invitation mail look like. So I have invited myself, and once candidate will click on the participate now, he will land to the test environment. So this is the test landing page where you can see the logo and banner of the organization, and this is the test structure. So here I have created 2 rounds. One is the screening round and second is the coding round. So candidate can simply click on the start and participate. Now let me show you the report section. So once candidate has taken the test, the recruiter can overview the test report. So right now, as you can see in the dashboard, if you want to track the overall, the overall test assessment done till date, you can go through the stats available. So here you can see what are the registrations, invite funnel, test funnel, what are the number of registration versus participation, and candidate ratings as well. Now to see the report of a specific test, we can select the test from the drop down. Suppose I select this particular test, I can click on the view analytics. So here you can see the overall view of the test, that how many people got invited, registered and submitted. To see the report in detail, click on the funnel, and here you can see exactly who are the people who got invited, and you can see their submissions as well. Under the submission, you can see that what are the score of the candidate per round, right? Now to see the detailed report, you can click on the view detail. Here you can see the candidate summary, where you can see that how candidate has performed in different groups or round. We provide a very detailed report where not only we show you that what is the performance of the candidate in overall, but we also highlight that how candidate has performed in different round, in different difficulty level, as well as skill wise analysis. So here you can see that how candidate has performed and scored per round basis as well as the difficulty level basis, and here you can see how he has performed skill wise basis. Now to see the report more into detail, so here we not only tell you that how candidate has performed as an individual, but we also benchmark the candidate against the other participant. So here marks distribution and time distribution graph will help you to understand exactly where candidate is standing. Further, you can see how candidate has performed in different groups, how candidate has performed skill wise, difficulty level wise, as well as question wise, where you can see the status of the candidate as well per question. Similarly, you can see the report for coding as well, that how candidate has performed, difficulty level wise, question wise, how many test cases he has passed or failed, as well as what is the code submitted by the candidate. Apart from this, if you want to share the report with your internal team, you can simply download the consolidated report or candidate summary report, or even you can download the round-wise report of the candidate. With that, you can also take an action whether you want to shortlist or reject the candidate based on his performance. Then we have a proctoring details in place, where you can select the rounds and you can see the proctoring details. So in the left hand side, you can see various flags which are available with their timestamp. And if you select the flag, you can also see their respective screenshot available. So you can simply zoom it and you can see that candidate has tried to switch the tab. Similarly, you can see various candidate snapshot available. And you can see the video and you can play it at your end as well. At the bottom, you can see the summary where you can see the number of time error log has appeared. So this is all about the proctoring details. Apart from that, if required, you can also track the candidate through timeline, that when he got invited, registered and did the submission for different round. Lastly, apart from that, we also have private leaderboard where you can see the top performer of the test. As well as, if required, you can also download the Excel report where you can see the ranking of the candidate. So this is all about the reports section and the assessment side of it. Once you shortlist the candidate, the recruiter can further go ahead and schedule the interview with the shortlisted candidate. So this is the interview dashboard where you can see 3 tabs available. One is the ongoing tab, under which you can see the live interviews. Second is the schedule tab, under which you can see the list of the interviews which are scheduled for coming days. And under the completed tab, you can see the report of the interviews which are completed. Now to schedule an interview, it's a very simple interface where you just need to fill the interview detail, interview title, candidate detail such as name, email ID, phone number and resume. Phone number and resume are optional, and interviewer and panelist detail where only name and email ID is required. Here you can add up to 5 panelists including interviewer. And then further you can schedule the interview by selecting date and time. Once you save and exit and schedule the interview, an auto trigger mail will go to all the panelists include as well as the candidate, which will include the interviewer detail. So now our interview is visible under the schedule section where you can see the basic description of the interview. Now before the start of the interview, there are few actions which you can perform. First, either you can add the question into interview. Second, you can edit the details of the interview. And third, you can cancel the interview. Either if you edit the details or you cancel the interview, in both the cases an auto trigger mail will go to everybody. Now this is, since I have added myself as an interviewer, this is the mail which I have received from SpeedHire, which include candidate detail as well as the interview link as well. Now I can simply download the link and I can see the resume of the candidate as well. When I have to join the interview, I can simply click on the link. There is one feature known as video playback feature, where the complete interview is being recorded at candidate end, at interviewer end. So it's important for an interviewer to share his screen. Now, being an interviewer, I can start the interview, and till the time I start the interview, the candidate is not allowed to get into the interviewer room. So this is our virtual interview room. So my colleagues have joined. So Pai has joined as a candidate and Ishika has joined as a panelist, including me. So in the left hand side, you can see this is a problem statement where problem description, including input output format, constraint and sample test case is visible. This is a collaborative coding editor where the interviewer panelist as well as the candidate can code in parallel. In the top right corner, you can see a selected language drop down where candidate can select the language. So here the interviewer can ask the candidate to select the specific language as per his requirement. So as you can see, Pahi has just changed the language from Java to C++. This coding editor gives you a real-time experience where the candidate write and you can see the code in a real time. So as you can see, Pai is writing the code, and being an interviewer, I can see it at my end in a real-time scenario. Okay. So apart from the coding editor, and usually in the interview, apart from a full-fledged coding problem statement, usually the interviewer panelist usually give a question such as, code snippet, or maybe ask the candidate to write some SQL query. In that case, you can use the discussion editor. Again, this is a collaborative editor where the panelist as well as interviewer as well as the candidate can write in parallel. So as you can see, we all can write in parallel. So apart from the audio video interaction between the panelist and candidate, we also support chat interaction where we have 2 chat windows. One is with the candidate where a panelist can interact with the candidate, and second is a moderator chat where the panelist can interact with each other privately. So this is all about the interview side of it. So once the interview is being done, you can end the interview. Once interview is ended, a feedback form will go to the interviewer as well as to the candidate. And here, this is the interviewer feedback for me. So I can either shortlist, reject, or under review the candidate. And then I have to give the score based on his and her performance. And then also there is a free space where I can give a feedback and submit. So let's see the report of the candidate. So here you can see the candidate image. So before getting into the interview, the candidate image is being captured. Then this is the result that I have shortlisted the candidate. This is the feedback from the interviewer as well as from the candidate. So at the candidate level, the overall experience and the quality of the questions is being taken as a feedback. Apart from that, this is the complete interview which is being recorded. So if required, you can play this interview at your end again. And this is the problem statement with candidate code and test case outcome. So based on this, you can take the further steps. So these are the few key highlights of our platform. Now that you have a better understanding about our product, why don't you try by yourself? So in the lobby, there is a link which you can click and try to create a test at your end and win some good Amazon vouchers.
Thank you, Surbhi. And it was amazing to see our product and, to go through the special features and how it stands out. Thank you so much for that. Audience, now that you're more familiar with SpeedHire, you have more chances of winning Amazon vouchers by just creating a simple assessment here. So go ahead, visit the lobby and, go to the live platform, click onto the contest handy near the help desk. Check the problem statement and instructions, create the best test that, that is in the hiring scenario along with the problem statement. And you can send the invites and see the test reports as well. So go ahead. I'm sure, this will also test your observation power that you have. So just go ahead and look out for creating this assessment and winning some amazing vouchers here. Okay, now it's time for us to declare the trivia quiz winners. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. We are about to share the names of the people who have won the vouchers, who won the trivia quiz here today in the conclave. And I'm sure the winner is here somewhere amongst us. So, Yogesh, Akshaya, Mohit, Vishwaraj, Sachin, congratulations to all of you. You've made it. You've made through the quiz. Congratulations to each one of you. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for the enthusiastic participation as well. And congratulations once again. As we move towards wrapping up this conclave, I would like to invite Ayush Sharma from the TechGeek team for the vote of thanks.
Hi. Thanks, Sukriti. What an exciting event we have had so far. I would like to thank the entire audience for taking time out and joining us today to be a part of the virtual SpeedHire Conclave. Special thanks to all our panel speakers for gracing the event with your presence and sharing insights with the audience from your rich experiences on the impact of assessment tool in driving the overall recruitment efficiency, especially for the tech hiring. Thank you, Mr. Gautam Ghosh, for conducting the masterclass for the audience, and special mention for Ms. Veena and Mr. Sandeep for voicing out and sharing your positive experiences from the SpeedHire platform usage. We all have seen that assessment platform, assessment tools have been gaining significant prominence over past few years as it offers a very, very scientific, validated, reliable, and standardized approach to evaluate a candidate. We at Times Internet and TechGeek have been innovating constantly to build solutions for tech-focused hiring. And it all started about a decade ago with TechGeek, and today we hold one of the largest communities of techies and coders across the globe. Likewise, we are investing heavily on building the tech talent assessment platform. SpeedHire is the most advanced tech talent assessment tool, which offers features like auto scale for conducting bulk assessments, advanced AI-based proctoring to detect no-face, multi-face, ID-proof match to ensure your remote hirings, your remote hiring and remote assessments are all going cheating-proof. We have the broadest coverage of the language assessment, the coding assessments available on our platform. We have the robust and inbuilt library of questions, which is constantly updated basis the exposure question. I would request all of you to please sign up for the demo to experience the platform by yourselves. Hope all of you have enjoyed the session. I would like to thank once again for your time and look forward to staying connected as we move along. Please join us at the networking bay for quick introductions and quick chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sukriti.
Thank you, Ayush. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the conclave. We might not be physically seeing each other to network, but an e-meet is something we all have been surviving on for so long. If you're eager to meet our team, we have the e-meet networking zones here on the platform. You can visit the nearest located booth and meet each other and our team. And before I sign off, to this wonderful conclave, I would like to thank each one of you for being here today and spending your valuable time with us. Your presence is highly appreciated. Thank you, one and all. We are coming back with the next conclave on December 17th, 2021 with another set of exciting engagements and conversations. Do stay tuned to TechGig. Stay safe, take care, and have a blissful evening, everyone. Thank you.